props to the Eagles that not only do they get to look back on that Super Bowl and just 100% enjoy the dogs that were that team. The prick that they traded and then the Colts traded again and got even more out of it. It feels like everyone knows that ring is Fugazi on him, so it's even better. So all this, it's not even like he's showing hunger to get a ring and prove that he could do it. He's just a prick that can't be coached. Like, how can you not be coached? What have you done? What have you proven at all that you think I know how to do this, that, yada, yada. Your whole damn team won without you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful day to discuss other people's excellence. I'm the unforgettable one himself, Mr. Brett Carroll. Charles is always daydreaming. We're two guys like network. If we're going to talk about some BS, this whole Aaron Rodgers saga, I'm sorry, has been complete BS from the start. Thank God it's over. If you don't know or care to know and have been purposely living under a rock until it's over, let me be the first to tell you could come out. It's safe. It's over. Aaron Rodgers officially, well, not officially yet. I'm sorry. Let me not say that because he got mad at people for saying that. But he's officially staying with the Green Bay Packers. Reportedly, there's a 4-year, $200 million deal, $153 million guaranteed. I guess Rodgers is disputing the technicalities of that contract. So whatever. Point is, he's staying, and he'll probably retire a Packer, which is good, which I think is cool. I'm not necessarily a Packers fan or anything, but like after the whole Brett Favre saga, it would have been weird to see that blow up again with somebody flip-flopping, and then leaving when he should retire as a Packer. He's an all-time great Packer. Him and Brett Favre, the Packers have had some good-ass fucking quarterbacks, if we're being...
Only two for the last 30 years, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of funny. I heard on Greeny yesterday that the Packers haven't, the Bears haven't swept the Packers since 1991.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. That's crazy to think in a rivalry, the oldest rivalry in the NFL. The Bears haven't won twice in 1 year since 1991.
By the way, for context, I turned 30 on Saturday as of this recording. I was not born yet. I was born in 1992. So in my lifetime, the Bears have never swept the Packers. And they probably won't this year.
So I hope they do, just because, man, so we're recording this after, I'm sure we talked about it on here, that cryptic ass letter where he said goodbye to the quarterback's room and said goodbye to the guys, the Friday crew or something, yada, yada, and a cryptic message. And granted, me and you have defended like Kyrie's just random cryptic messages before, because sometimes people read too much into it. But with that said, Kyrie doesn't have a weekly spot, it feels like, on any syndicated YouTube or radio shows. He doesn't talk to the media every effing chance he gets, like Aaron Rodgers does on radio or the Pat McAfee show, which is good. It's great content. I'm not saying if you don't enjoy it, it's not cool. It is. Enjoy, man, especially if you're a Packers fan, right? But the dude who talks down so consistently to everybody like he's so goddamn woke and high and mighty, he comes off as pretentious. He has a goodbye letter because he talks about wanting out, essentially, or just cryptic all year about it being his last year, essentially, because the whole world isn't reading your body wrong. That's what you're presenting to us. Because you can simply come out and squash all this bullshit. And he doesn't. But then he gets the bag. That might have been his play. Hey, man, get your money, especially in the NFL. I ain't hating on anybody getting guaranteed money in the NFL, especially somebody that is as talented as Aaron Rodgers. Get your bag, bro. Like, you take up a quarter of the Packers' salary cap now. So don't be mad when they don't get you help this time. Like, this does, you can't bitch over the next 4 years and not signing major wide receivers.
That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's just the same thing. I'm a Giants fan. I have no real rivalry with the Packers. We like some of the best wins of my lifetime as a Giants fan come against the Packers, and I mean that in a good way. Like, but they're Devo quarterbacks on the Packers, because it's one of the only teams you can pull this with, because it's not like free agent quarterbacks would go to the Green Bay Packers, period. So they dealt with Favre, and now they're dealing with Aaron Rodgers. And granted, Aaron Rodgers it doesn't seem to be slowing up, at least in the regular season. So I can at least understand the train of thought, especially with the bag he just got. But like, are the Packers a contender? We talk so much about the AFC. They're going to eat themselves alive. So he has an easier route in the NFC now, especially since the Seahawks just kind of quit. They're rebuilding now, let Wagner go. But Rodgers, I think, is staying with the Packers because it was the best option. Like, did the Broncos want to trade for him? Did they offer something? Like, we didn't hear about it. I assume.
Well, what they're saying is they got a hint that Rodgers was staying, so they immediately turned to Russell Wilson.
Good plan B.
And they gave up a lot for Russell Wilson. I'm sure they were willing to give up even more for Aaron Rodgers if that was the case. But to me, if you're Aaron Rodgers, that makes so much more sense to stay because, my God, if they don't win a Super Bowl now, that's going to be a huge – or I will say this. If they don't get to another Super Bowl, that's going to be a huge black eye on his legacy. Who the hell is in the NFC anymore?
Well, I mean, he lost to the Niners.
I understand.
Let's be real. Y'all lost at home to the Niners.
Yeah, and the Niners have had their number the last couple of times. But my point is, no Brady anymore, no Breeze, no Russell Wilson. I mean, Matthew Stafford and the Rams, but you figure they're probably only going to be good for another year or so because eventually they're going to have to blow that team up because of the salaries and everything.
Yeah, but you're not picking after the season we just had. If the Rams come back mostly intact, you're not choosing the Packers to beat them in the playoffs. Like,
I'm not talking about next year. I'm just talking about over the next 4 years of this.
But that's the crazy part. It's not like Rodgers is Rodgers that much younger. No, he's not. He's not younger than Matthew Stafford.
No, he's older. He's 30 years old.
Yeah, he's like I just don't. It makes sense because that's your legacy player, and he deserves the money from the organization. He's obviously brought more money to. So I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not coming at it like that. But the attitude he had to be back, who wants to sign? Who's coming in to take a pay cut to play with Aaron Rodgers that isn't going to sign to like the Rams for the same reason? You know what I mean? Like, the Rams have proven the formula. Come with us, win a ring. Like, if you're going to take a pay cut, are you taking the pay cut to go play in Green Bay, Wisconsin? Like, I just don't.
They're not.
It's strange.
Well, I think part of this too is him getting the money, but also them listening to him on decisions. And so if he says, "Yo, go draft a wide receiver in the first round, please," I think they're going to do it because and to be fair to Aaron Rodgers, we know Green Bay is not a free agent destination, right? And so it's like, yo, if we're gonna win, y'all have to like stop this archaic thought process of drafting. And they're gonna say, well, every receiver you've ever had was a second round receiver, including Devontae Adams. So why should we? And it's like, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, receiver is a deep enough position that you can find studs up until like the third, fourth round.
No, I mean, Antonio Brown's a 6th round pick.
One of your favorites is a 6th round pick.
I totally agree with you. And the Steelers are another team. They rarely draft wide receivers in the first round. But in fact, besides Santonio Holmes, I can't think of another receiver that they drafted in the first round. I get it. But the point of the matter is, if this is something that you knew has been an issue for this long, right? And you continue, and to me, it's not even about the wide receivers. They don't draft offensive players at all in the first round. Like, that's ridiculous. And it's like, come on, bro. You gotta be a little more open-minded than to just say, oh, nah, we don't value this position as a first-round position. I'm not saying draft a running back in the top 10 because I'm a big component of you don't do that. Right? I'm a big component of you wait on running backs. But that doesn't mean that you just completely negate any possibility of drafting somebody in the first round. You traded up for Jordan Love, and T. Higgins was still on the board. There was a lot of good receivers still on the board when you traded up to get Jordan Love. Jordan Love,
who might get traded sometime in the next couple months,
right, for a 7th rounder.
Well, maybe not a 7th rounder. He could be traded for something higher because you know how the league values quarterbacks, and the idea of a decent starting quarterback can yield you a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Yeah, but he's not. But that's the problem. They played him already, and we know he's not a decent starting quarterback. That's the problem.
I mean, it could be either, it could be a bit of column A, bit of column B. He could be better somewhere else.
No, absolutely. All right, we might get a 5th rounder for him, but the point I'm making is you're not going to get high value draft picks for Jordan Love, and so instead of trading up to get a guy like Jordan Love, you should have just drafted somebody who could have helped your football team better. Again, this was coming, and ladies and gentlemen, let me remind y'all, this was coming off of an NFC Championship game when they did this. So it's not like they had a middling season and they're like, Aaron Rodgers might not have it anymore. They got to the NFC Championship game, and instead of saying, hey, we're like a piece or two away from getting over the hump, they said, you know what we should do? Let's do the smart thing and draft the future. We know he's not going to play right now, but let's just draft the future now and have him ready for whenever Aaron Rodgers retires. That's just stupid.
Wait. You got Malik Willis going 2nd overall in this draft in your last mock, and you think it's a bad decision that the Packers tried to make a decision for the future?
Yes. There's 2 different situations. The Lions are not the Packers. If the Lions, all right, the Lions have the 32nd pick in the draft, right? But that's because it's the Rams pick, right? If the Lions were coming off a Super Bowl and the goal was to continue to win games to try to repeat, I would not be saying that. The Lions are in a position where, like, yo, we need everything anyway. If we like this guy, take him. You know what I mean?
But that's the problem with the logic. Yeah, that's the logic I'm using. The Packers like Jordan Love. And if you like a quarterback, they always say go out and get him.
But that's stupid if you have a quarterback already. It's like for instance.
But the whole point was him to sit behind. You have Malik Willis going to the Lions because he would sit behind Jared Goff. Like the idea that this isn't a crazy idea that the fucking Packers, draft a quarterback to sit behind a veteran quarterback.
Yeah, but not when you're coming off an NFC. There's 2 different things, man. When you're coming off an NFC Championship game, you should be thinking about the present, not the future. You worry about that later.
Yeah, but that's exactly what people's argument against Brett Favre was all these years ago when they drafted Aaron Rodgers.
But see, I think that's different. Brett Favre was flip-flopping and saying, I'm retired.
Aaron Rodgers is flip-flopping.
But that was after Jordan Love, Charles. That's what I'm saying.
But you don't think, like, dude, we all saw this coming. Aaron Rodgers ain't different. It ain't like he changed in the last 4 years since Jordan Love was drafted.
No, we knew Aaron Rodgers was a prick. Like, that's always been a thing. But the word retirement or I want to get traded did not happen until after the Jordan Love thing. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that would have pissed me off too. Like, you're telling me I was, 20 minutes away from a Super Bowl, and instead of drafting somebody that can help us, you draft my replacement, even if we're agreeing that he's not going to be my replacement for 3 years, bro. I need somebody that's going to help me for the next.
I agree. It's the most not win now draft pick of this 21st century. I'm not arguing the like in retrospect. I'm saying, but it's not the craziest thing the Packers did it. Like,
I think that was stupid. That's just me.
Like, we'll see. I mean, they just gave $200 million to the quarterback that didn't show up against the Niners in the playoffs at home.
Yeah, but they also gave. You're right. But
I'm just saying, like this. We're talking about a team that's just happened. Like, if you're gonna word the drafting of Jordan Love, and I'm only saying that in the context of where we are in the season too, like how we all are talking, like the collective zeitgeist of football is talking about the combine and the draft and potential and yada yada yada. So when the Packers did that with Jordan Love, it doesn't work, right? Because of what he came off of, yada yada yada. That train of mind. Using that analysis right now, Aaron Rodgers is not who he was 4 years ago. He's still very good. He's still a Hall of Famer. But
still a 2-time reigning MVP.
But he didn't show up in the playoffs at all.
All right. But to your point, so
I'm saying $200 million is for the future. This is the NFL trend.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is this: if what happened this offseason happened that offseason, I would understand.
Yeah,
right.
No, I agree. I'm not even.
If they only scored 10 points against the Niners, if they only scored 10 points against the Niners and lost in the divisional round, I can see the Packers saying, maybe this is the end of the road. They came off an NFC Championship game.
Bro, I agree. I'm playing devil's advocate because right now it's the Packers are making up for it. Like you got 200 million, 150 guaranteed. 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 You're the highest paid player ever now. Stop bitching. Just like, you know what I mean? Like the dude wants to be woke. He wants to tell people to read a book. And dude, you're living in an ivory tower because you don't realize what's actually going on in the world. People think you're fake woke because of your vaccine bullshit. I don't even care about that. It's just one of those things that I don't think it matters. I think if the Packers get off to a slow start, not a bad start, like Aaron Rodgers, still Aaron Rodgers, but they're 4-4 or something, right? He's gonna still bitch that they need more help and all this other shit. It's still gonna be the same story. It's still gonna be the same Packers.
Right, but that's why I'm also saying if you're the Packers, like you need to draft better players in the first round.
Yeah, but isn't his wide receiver about to get the bag?
Yeah, he got the franchise tag. Yes,
I hate the franchise tag, but I'm saying like he'd be getting paid. So like I don't. It's one of those weird things where it's like, how are the Packers have nobody when Packers keep getting paid? You know what I mean? Like it's not like we don't know any of Aaron Rodgers' wide receivers over the last 5 years.
Because outside of Devontae Adams, and I didn't even know it was this bad. Do you realize the second best receiver only had 600 yards last year?
No, I did not.
I didn't. I'm
not even joking. No, I did not.
The disparity is ridiculous. And actually, technically, Aaron Jones was their second best receiver, the running back. So it's one of those things like, bro, we can't win like this. You have to get him another weapon.
No, it is crazy to think now because
and if that means reaching for a wide receiver, I'd rather you reach for a wide receiver than reaching for a backup quarterback. That makes no sense.
No, and again, I just want to repeat to everybody that thinks I'm like arguing that Jordan Love was a good pick or I'm arguing that Aaron Rodgers didn't get the money. I started off with saying good. He deserves that money. Like, and I'm playing devil's advocate because the train of thought in football switches with retrospect. Like it is one of those things where, oh, it's a terrible pick because it didn't work out. Like that's why the combine and the draft is so you hear me say it all the time, bro. Like, yeah, it's hype. A lot of this is just hype. Because when you do the thing that we are told, like that's football speak. Well, if you love a guy, go out and get him, and you do it and you don't work out, you're a fucking idiot. Like if you do right by the player and you're strapped for cash and you can't sign any free agents, you're a terrible GM. Like if it doesn't work out. So, and I don't think, and I'm just being honest, I don't think the Packers are winning a Super Bowl in the next 4 years.
Winning, no, but
what is with the light?
I don't know.
Are you okay? Are aliens coming to get you, bro?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I got the windows open because there's natural light's supposed to be better, but
why does it just keep shining on you?
Because I don't know. Maybe because I have this great take that I'm about to say. I'm about to blow your mind.
Bro, I think you're about to get abducted.
But the funny thing is, I'm looking outside and
Jesus,
like nothing's happening. Oh, I'm coming, Elizabeth. But anyway,
he's not even 30.
Yeah, please don't do that to me, Lord. I'm 2 days away. Don't do that. But yeah, like I said, every situation is different, right? The reason why Malik Willis makes sense to go to Detroit at 2, even though that might be a reach, is completely
no, 100%. I didn't mean it as an apples to apples comparison. I was just saying, like, it's funny how the train of thought, because if it works out, if Jordan Love does get traded and works out, just happens to go to some place and it works, and Aaron Rodgers falls off a cliff, kind of like Kobe the last 2 years, like he's just not that elite player he used to be, you know what the narrative is going to be. You can see it, you can hear it, that, oh, the Packers should have stuck to their guns and all this other bullshit. Like,
yeah, but even that's stupid, because again, now granted, well, I just said the Packers are stupid for drafting Jordan Love. I'm sure they did not think that Aaron Rodgers would then go on to win back-to-back MVPs.
Oh, no, bad man.
The best quarterback in football at 37 and 38 respectively. So I get that. And so once that happens, it's like, oh, well, shit, fuck Jordan Love. This guy's still good. I get that. But it's one of those things like, yo, you had a chance to get to a Super Bowl again.
No, 100%, man, 100%. And let me be clear, man. I have a love-hate thing with Aaron Rodgers because, as Brett so eloquently put it, he's a prick. But I also believed for the longest time he was the GOAT quarterback. Like, if you dropped him on any historical team, replaced him with a legend, replaced him with Joe Montana, replaced him with anybody, he would make the team better. I once believed that. I don't believe that anymore because I don't think he would make the Tom Brady teams better. Want to know why? Because a lot of it is personality and leadership when we start talking about these elite guys. And I, as a fan that I am, I just said that. I said that there's posts of me saying that about Aaron Rodgers 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I don't believe that anymore. And it is because of an attitude thing. It's not necessarily a lack of leadership, because I do think there is a type of leader that the friendly prick. We all got a friend that we know is a prick, but we love him anyway. But so I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that can't work. I'm saying it's obviously doesn't work because I think all of us thought back in 2012, I'll go back 2012, 10 years ago, Aaron Rodgers would have more rings than he does.
I say this all the time as a Steelers fan. Now it pisses me off we lost that Super Bowl. I was content with losing that Super Bowl because Aaron Rodgers played so well. I said, yo, we just lost to the GOAT. I can't get mad. That dude's going to win 5 rings. The way he played in that Super Bowl, I said, yo, if this dude is healthy, they're going to be in the Super Bowl every year. And the fact that they have not sniffed a Super Bowl. Now, they've been to a bunch of NFC Championship games, but the fact that they haven't not even been to a Super Bowl since then is it pisses me off now because, like, yo, I should have another ring. Like, you picked – I just happened to get GOAT mode Aaron Rodgers, and we haven't seen GOAT mode Aaron Rodgers since.
That's my point about bringing up the playoff game, because trust me, I understand that good seasons are completely negated by one and done playoff performances in most fans' eyes. Like, we forget how great a regular season.
Let me ask you this, because I know, and then go ahead. Is he now the greatest regular season quarterback of all time? Is that what his legacy is going to be? Because
I don't even know if he's that. I don't even know if he's that. And you know how much I love Eli. And the reason I'm thinking Manning is because that's what the name came up. Peyton. Peyton is the greatest regular season quarterback that I can remember. That dude is one of my. He was the most annoying to play, and even in Madden, because he just called audibles the whole damn clock, just like he did in real life. And the guy broke like him on the Broncos was special when we thought he was done. Like, not even to discount his Colts career, which was he was already a Hall of Famer. And then he goes to the Broncos and perform like that. So when you say greatest regular season quarterback, to me, I honestly think of Peyton Manning. So, and that's no disrespect to Rodgers. If you say Rodgers, I don't think it's a bad pick. It could be. But like, I think Manning.
The reason why I say Rodgers is that was Peyton, but let's give Peyton some credit. He won 2 Super Bowls and went to 4. He won 2, went to 4. Aaron Rodgers has won 1, been to 1.
The one he got carried to, the one that Peyton, ironically, his second ring is his like least deserving ring. You look back on a couple other Super Bowls, like I think the whole world was cheering for the Saints because of Katrina, and this is how time is crazy, right? Because everybody done forgot about that because there's so many younger fans that don't remember that was an aspect of that Super Bowl, that they're just like, man, I wish Peyton would have won that Super Bowl. And if you were around for it, you're kind of like, that was not how we were thinking.
And Peyton had one already. It's like, yo, Peyton, you got a Super Bowl. This one's got to be for the Saints.
Yeah, this one's from New Orleans, yo. Like, come on. But
we're doing this for Little Saint on this one. Come on now. But like, but I mean, the fact that he was carried to that Super Bowl, you're right. But don't get me started on that game against the Steelers when he gave himself up, refs, and you let him get up and throw the football. He should have been down. But let's not go there. Yes, he was carried, but at the end of the day, he still went to 4. He still won 2.
Yeah, no, I ain't
so to me, I think it's disrespectful to call him a great regular season quarterback because he now has the.
No, but you said who's the greatest regular season quarterback, and my answer to that specific question would be Peyton Manning. That's all I'm saying. I don't think he is. Now, like I don't think that's his title. But if you're gonna ask me who is, I would say Peyton Manning.
I would say Aaron Rodgers now.
Maybe. If he does it again, if he wins an MVP and he's one and done in the playoffs, without a doubt, I'll say that.
Well, and let's also remember this. When we were saying about Peyton, we were saying that almost as an insult because it's like, yo, you were supposed to be the GOAT. You're the greatest regular season quarterback, but you can't get it.
Yeah, it was because Tom Brady existed and Tom Brady had a Bill Belichick defense. Like I think Tom Brady's the GOAT. He has the rings to prove it. He has the leadership to prove it. And it's just funny when you look back on those early teams that we were saying he was the game manager just on Bill Belichick's team, because goddamn, Bill Belichick knows how to build a defense. But that's for future talks. There was more quarterbacks to talk about. I didn't think we were going to talk about Aaron Rodgers for that long. Be happy, cheeseheads. We talked about the Packers for once. The Seahawks ended an era, and it's almost 4 years to the day, almost to the day. It's like a day off to where the Legion of Boom ended. So it's just crazy that 4 years later, the Russell Wilson era is over. He gets traded to the Denver Broncos. Look at Elway. He must have listened to the pod 2 weeks ago when I was insulting him about quarterbacks, black quarterbacks. And he was like, oh, yeah? And went out and got a black quarterback. So he just...
Not just that, but it's almost 10 years to the day that they drafted both Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson.
Yo, legendary Seahawk. I don't think anyone's hating on the Seahawks for this move. They're looking at the tea leaves, and they know it'd probably be better to try to rebuild than keep it together at this moment, because the NFC West isn't exactly the easiest division right now.
Yeah, so, shout out to Russell Wilson. He went from the hardest division in football to the hardest division.
For real. He's like, how can I not take an easy path to the Super Bowl? The West. So he goes there, and the trade includes the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos traded Drew Lock, Noah Fant, the D lineman Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick for Russell Wilson. And I think they also get the Seahawks 2nd-round pick this year. I think I saw that somewhere. I could be wrong, but that I know what they sent over. They definitely got a pick at 5th.
Yeah, I think it's a swap, basically.
Maybe, yeah. But I think the Broncos enter the conversation. A lot of people are saying they're not better than the Chargers. I think that is an interesting conversation now.
What?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that. Breathe, bro. Breathe.
This is why, okay, right? So
I broke breath.
I'm going to do my 2.5 mock, right? And I have a Panthers rant in that mock, right? Denver. See, I told you. Hot take. Denver, as well as the Panthers, are what you consider only a quarterback away from being title contenders. This is why the Sam Darnold thing is such a big deal. Now, in the Panthers case, they also need an O-line, granted. But for the most part, the team is there. They just need a quarterback.
Contend for the South before you contend for the title, is all I'm saying.
Denver literally has not just weapons, they have great weapons.
Jerry Jeudy.
Not just fuck Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy's been here's how good their weapons are. Jerry Jeudy's been a disappointment, and nobody gives a fuck. Because they still have Cortland Sutton. They still have what's my other, oh my goodness, I can't think of the other guy's name. Patrick or something like that. They have receivers. And KJ Hamlin. They have receivers to the point where Noah Fant, who is a really good tight end, they had to get rid of in the draft. Okay, you can replace the tight end, but they have really good receivers. Just imagine if Jerry Jeudy lives up to his hype, how good their receivers are. See, once again, just flowing with energy as I'm taking this hot take. They have a great defense. They have a great offensive line.
Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick. Yeah, I knew it was someone with Patrick.
It was bugging that. I was like, bro, I just saw this lineup. Like,
they have a good running game. They have a good offensive line. You're putting Russell freaking Wilson on that offense with that defense. Oh, and by the way, with that offense, with the new coach, who was the Packers offense coordinator?
Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, Javonte Williams, and Dangerous Wilson.
That's insane, y'all.
He just got a better version.
Listen.
A better version of his offense in Seattle when they won. Minus Marshawn Lynch. With all respect to Beast Mode. Minus Marshawn Lynch.
Listen, this is not, I don't think this is a hot take. That's the best roster in the AFC West for sure. That's better than the Chiefs roster.
I don't know, man. The Chiefs that's a tough one just because the Chiefs roster is a great team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to tell.
That roster, the names aren't as big as the names on the Chiefs. But if we're talking about 153.
Well, the Broncos are a team. Broncos got people. Yeah, they're the It's staggering how Elway has built a team, but has been so terrible at picking quarterbacks. It doesn't make sense because he is so good at other positions that the fact that he can't get a game manager. Like, imagine if the Broncos would have just picked up Ryan Fitzpatrick even a couple years ago, they would have been a bigger problem than they've been with like Drew Lock. It's just crazy.
You know what it is?
And then you think about the whole Jay Cutler era before Peyton got there. You know what I mean? Like, people forget about this because that's why me and Brett were arguing about Jay Cutler, and he's like, "Oh, Jay Cutler good." I was like, "No, he's not. He's had enough teams that he should have been better." Like, he's the Darren Williams of quarterbacks. Like,
dude, the Broncos. I'm telling you, the Broncos might, and I don't want to overreact. They might have made themselves the best team in the AFC. I'm telling you, they're so.
No, but I don't think they're the best team in the AFC. You still got the Chiefs. You still got the Bengals. You still got the Bills.
Okay.
The top five. You have an argument for the top 5 teams in the AFC. You have an argument.
Okay, the Bengals. We'll see what they do with their offensive line. And by the way, the Bengals, like, we say this in sports all the time. It's the difference when you're the hunted, not the hunters, right? Totally different thing.
The Ravens are going to come back from injury, aren't they?
Right, and they're coming, and they just lost the Super Bowl. We all know about the Super Bowl hangover. Okay, so that's that. I'm telling you, they have a better overall roster than the Chiefs. They without a doubt have a better overall roster than the Chargers. The Steelers have way too many question marks right now for me to consider them. The Ravens, they're coming off an injury, but I still don't think the Ravens are that great of a team. That's just me. They're good. They're the Ravens. They're always going to be in the mix. I'm going to put respect on their name. But I don't look at their roster and say, "Oh my God, yeah, you got to watch out for the Ravens." I don't see that. The Bills obviously are in the mix. But I'm telling you, this Broncos team, it's a scary team because just like the Panthers, they've underperformed so many times over the last couple of years because the quarterback play hasn't been good. They've been able to draft good players. Like, again, it's the same thing with the Panthers. Everybody's like, "Oh, get rid of Matt Rule." No. This is actually perfect. You want the best thing that happened to the best thing that can happen to the Panthers is Sam Darnold has another shit show this year. Suck, please suck. I want y'all to suck. Have another high draft pick next year, so maybe you can get your quarterback and then draft some other guys later, and then be the best team in the NFC. And everyone's like, how did this happen? That's right, because you underperformed for 3 years in a row. That's what you want. That's what happened to the Broncos. I'm telling you, the Broncos are scary. I said this 2 years ago, because I thought Drew Lock was going to be good, and he wasn't. I picked the Broncos as my sleeper team. I didn't know Drew Lock was going to be that bad. We know Russ ain't going to be bad. If he's healthy, he's going to be amazing. Don't be surprised if the Broncos win, bro. Don't be surprised if Broncos are in the Super Bowl. They might be my early pick. They might be my early favorites to come out the AFC. They are so, like I said, I don't think there's a team in the AFC that is balanced offensively and defensively. Oh, and by the way, that has a huge home field advantage if they get a top seed. We know the Chiefs are still offense or bust. If they're not scoring, they're not winning. Again, the Bills are definitely the only other team I would consider great on offense and defense. We'll see. The Bengals, they have money to spend, but their owner's not really known for spending. We'll see if they spend it on the O-line and the defense.
There's a couple guard free agents they can improve through the free agent market, and they can definitely draft a couple O-linemen and just, because their backups played well in the playoffs, man. Those backups held off the Rams defense for most of the Super Bowl. Like, give Aaron Donald his props, but like the offensive line played way better.
We forget he got sacked 9 times against the Titans. Let's be real. If Tannehill didn't have like the worst game of his life, they'd lose that game.
Yeah, but they still won.
No, I'm saying let's not say the backups played well.
The backups played well in the Super Bowl. They didn't give up anything in the first half.
In the first half, he got sacked 6 times in the second half alone.
Motherfucker, that is like the highest paid defensive line ever. They better get some sacks on some backups. Like, I'm saying, comparative to who they're going up against. The Rams get sacks against the best. And these are backups to guys that shouldn't even be starting.
Okay, but okay, they had a good half. Let's just say that.
That's what I said for half of the Super Bowl. They were in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
The worst O-line ever.
That's what I'm saying. So for me to consider the Bengals a legit threat this year, they have to make major improvements.
Look at you. Look at you getting all sidetracked. I want to note to everybody, I did not get sidetracked from the Russell Wilson trade. I did not do this today. Mr. Panthers and Bengals did it today. Wasn't my fault.
I just said Denver might be my pick.
Yeah, but like your pick, but that's you hype. You saying it might be your pick right now in March means nothing. The draft hasn't happened yet. Once you make your proclamations don't mean nothing until after free agency.
Yeah, I'm saying right now because I gotta see. Now, obviously, if I don't know, the Steelers trade for Deshaun Watson or something, that might change everything. That might change my opinion.
Anyway, okay. So there was a different
really any team in the AFC trades for Deshaun Watson that might change my opinion. But
okay, right so in the future, just so I give everyone a heads up for future pods when me and Brett are talking about the draft, like you guys might be shocked to know that I think the Eagles could be really good in the future. But that's the best I'm going to say right now because we're not talking about that right now. Why did I bring up the Eagles randomly? Because the Eagles done told the league a couple years ago now that Carson Wentz is trash. I told y'all at the end of the regular season that I told y'all he was trash. But how trash are the Commies owner, Mr. Dan Snyder? He's way more trash than anybody else I've talked about on a pod that has the word excellence in it. And these Commanders, the Colts will receive the Commanders' third-round picks in 2022 and 2023. The 2023 rounder can become a 22nd rounder selection if Wentz plays 70% of Washington's snaps. The teams also swap second-round picks in 2022, with the Colts moving up from numbers 47 overall to number 42, and the Commanders are getting a 22 seventh-round pick. Also, Washington will pay the full $28 million due to Wentz for the 2022 season, which includes a $5 million roster bonus coming next week. So not only did they give up picks for this schmuck, they gave up picks and they're paying him full. Paid in full. Listen, I'll say it again, even if I'm not a fan of you, get your money in a sport like football. Get your money, get the bag. And how am I going to hate on Carson Wentz in the Colts when they just fucking robbed Washington blind? And it all is going to do is help the rest of us in the East because they do it to themselves every year. They're building something. Look at this defense. Which era am I even talking about in the sentence? But look at this defense they got. They're young. They got a good core. They play well. They have a star on the defense. They just cut
Landon Collins. They just cut Landon Collins, and Landon Collins just put out a quote basically saying that they cut him because of Carson Wentz.
Beautiful. What's that? What's that future gift? Sensational. Like, this is great. This is great. Oh, go Giants. This is wonderful. This is fucking wonderful. Hold on. Because you're going to say some bullshit about how he was good last year. He had a 94.
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Okay, hold on. But I want to say his stats just so everyone knows how trash Carson Wentz is. Because last year, his best year since MVP year, I guess, was a little bit over 3,500 yards. I'll round up, 3,600 yards, 27 touchdowns. That's good. 7 interceptions, great ratio. 94.6 rating. Everyone clapped. They missed the playoffs. In Philadelphia the year before, he didn't even throw for 3,000 yards. He's putting up Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold numbers. 16 touchdowns to 15 interceptions with a less than 73 rating. And then the year before, he had 4,000 yards. And 27-7 seems to be the thing. So if you guys like to bet if you think Carson Wentz is going to do good, apparently good is 27-7. Because 7 interceptions seems to be his cap. Unless he quits on his team. Then it's 15. So I'm pretty sure because no one's inspired by the Washington football team that he's going to quit on them. So you might see north of 15 interceptions next year. But that's just me. What were you going to say about the ginger compy?
I was just going to say, I've never met somebody who hates somebody more than you hate Carson Wentz. And for the life of me, I still don't understand why. He was an Eagles quarterback. Now he's the Washington quarterback. So why should I like it? I've never heard you hate on. No, I've never heard you talk shit about Donovan McNabb or Michael Vick or
Number one, Michael Vick is like a Falcons quarterback before he's an Eagles quarterback in my head.
Nick Foles, who actually won the Super Bowl.
Nick Foles is a backup, and he had a magical run. I'm not taking away from that magical run, but Nick Foles' magical run as that backup of the Philly Eagles kind of proved that you can't be a most valuable player if your team wins the Super Bowl without you. Y'all forgot about that part of the run. Carson Wentz, he's the future of the East. He's the future of the NFC East. MVP candidate. The Eagles wouldn't be here without Wentz.
They would not have won the Super Bowl without Carson Wentz.
And how good was McNabb on the Redskins?
He wasn't good.
But okay. Name a really good Washington football quarterback.
There hasn't been many since the turn of the century. But my point is, you saying Carson Wentz is an Eagles quarterback has nothing to do with the fact that you hate him. You hate him for reasons that are deep in your soul, and I don't know why. I don't
hate him as an individual. He's like if Aaron Rodgers wasn't good. He's like the same type of prick, but he's just not as good as Aaron Rodgers is. So we don't have to put up with it. I'm sorry. Aaron Rodgers is a better leader too, not just player, a better leader than Carson Wentz is. When the whole team, including your offensive line, hates you to the point where they're like, fuck it, sack them in games that you can win. And then they start playing for the backup and you're hating on everybody else because now they're playing better. That is so indicative of how much you suck. Not everybody else, how much you suck in that locker room. I don't even like the Eagles. I'm happy to be an Eagles hater. And he pissed me off doing that. Like to the point where all these cute QB gurus are saying, I don't know football because if I knew football, I'd see how great Carson Wentz is and how trash everyone else is. Well, last time I checked, the Eagles made the playoffs without him.
Okay.
Overrated ass quarterback. And props to Nick Foles, because if one of them's getting a statue, it ain't going to be that guy that's playing in Washington now. Philly doesn't involve Carson Wentz. And props to the Eagles. Props to the Eagles that not only do they get to look back on that Super Bowl and just 100% enjoy the dogs that were that team. The prick that they traded and then the Colts traded again and got even more out of it. It feels like everyone knows that ring is Fugazi on him, so it's even better. So all this, it's not even like he's showing hunger to get a ring and prove that he could do it. He's just a prick that can't be coached. Like, how can you not be coached? What have you done? What have you proven at all that you think I know how to do this, that, yada, yada. Your whole damn team won without you. The Colts had equal success with like Jacoby Brissett. Like, what are we talking about? Are people mad if someone points out that Jacoby Brissett isn't the starting quarterback in this league? You like, Wentz is one of these quarterbacks. He's a starting quarterback because he's gotten the opportunity over and over again. He was drafted high in a shit draft. It was him and Jared Goff, guys.
No, he's a starting quarterback because, like you said, 3,500 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's starting quarterback numbers. Is he a good starting quarterback? That's debatable. But
people weren't called Andy Dalton haters because they were calling out the Bengals for having a mediocre quarterback. And all I'm saying is, if we're listing the quarterbacks in the East, like, congratulations that the bottom of the barrel is Daniel Jones and Carson Wentz, because what year is it?
No, you're right. You're right.
The Colts. The Colts are going to be better than the Commanders. At least that's what I think. I think
it depends on who they get at quarterback. They
so do the Commanders.
They now have a major hole at quarterback. But again, and I don't want to go on this.
And rumor is Jimmy G. Like, the Colts might try to go after Jimmy G. That's the rumor.
Makes sense. Which makes sense. You especially just got a bunch of picks for Carson Wentz, so you can trade them. If you're the Commanders, I guess the question is, why would you get Carson Wentz? Because they're in desperation mode. And Carson Wentz, like I said, is at least as a starting quarterback. You know what I mean? Like the Steelers have to do something because we know for a fact Mason Rudolph is not a starting quarterback. He's just not. Carson Wentz is at least a starting quarterback.
Does not being coachable seem like it's going to fit with Ron Rivera?
No, but
I'm not hating here.
I
see the dumpster fire. It's just smoldering.
But when you're on the hot seat, sometimes you gotta take a chance, right,
bro? You know, I'm not even on Ron Rivera. I'm just. Oh God, they're coming for you again. For anybody that's just listening to the audio, the light just keeps shining on Brett at these weird times, and we don't know where it's coming from.
Might be the cut, man. Might be
wow. The cut. Wow. That's why they call you son, because you shine like one. But
there you go. But I mean, so again, I had to keep bringing this back to other teams, but like, and like I said, I have a whole rant about this in a later pod. But people keep saying, "Oh, the Panthers are going to draft a quarterback because they're in desperation mode." Like, yeah, no, that does not mean you draft a quarterback when you know the quarterback can't play. Carson Wentz can at least play. The question is, can I get him to buy into what I'm doing? Right? That's the question. And so if you're Ron Rivera and you know you're on the hot seat and you know you don't really have anything else because Deshaun Watson's situation is probably not going to get resolved anytime soon, and Russell Wilson already got traded, and Aaron Rodgers is staying in Green Bay, then you might have to take that chance. It's a bad bet. It's a bad bet, but it's a bet that you have no choice but to take, because what else are you going to do? If you're not confident in drafting a quarterback and there's nobody else that you could probably get, then guess what? You have no choice but to take a chance on Carson Wentz, who I think the real frustrating part is he has talent. We look at Carson Wentz and say, yo, you could be good. You're better. You're not as good as you think you are, but you could be as good as you think you are if you would listen to somebody and take some guidance and stop acting like you know what's best for the team when you don't. When you audible out of a running play, when you have an MVP caliber running back because you want to throw the ball and you throw an interception, no wonder your team doesn't want you anymore. The stories we're hearing, they were done with him before that Jaguars game. We're hearing that Frank Wright apologized to Jim Irsay for vouching for him. Like, that's bad, bro. Like all funny shit aside, Carson Wentz has to really look himself in the mirror right now and have to come to Jesus. Like, as the light is hitting me, the light needs to hit him. He needs to have a come to Jesus moment. It's like, yo, man, I fucked up a relationship in the NFL. We know how this league works. It's all about relationships. You burned a bridge of somebody who vouched for you. Like I said, I think Washington only did this because they were that desperate for a quarterback. If this doesn't work out in Washington, his career might be over. He needs to really look in the mirror and say, yo, I need to change who the hell I am. This is my third team now. This is my third team. It can't be everybody else. At some point, I got to look at me and say, what am I doing wrong or not doing right to put myself in this situation? Washington is a good football team. They didn't have to give up a first round pick to get them. They are another team now. If they draft well and do well in free agency, they could be a contender in the NFC. We keep saying it. The NFC is wide open right now. If Carson Wentz plays the way he can play, and I said the same thing about the Colts. If Carson Wentz plays up to his potential, the Colts could be a sleeper team. I'm saying it now. If Carson Wentz plays up to his potential, Washington will be a sleeper team. And to Charles's point, at what point do we say, well, yeah, but he's not? To Charles's point, at what point do we stop saying, oh, if he's been in the league long enough to know, for us to say he's not going to do it? And that's sad. He had a bad year last year. He threw for 3,500 yards, 27 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, QBR 94. Like, that's the frustrating part. That's why he keeps getting chances, because people see the potential in this dude. He's mobile. He's got a strong arm. He's got the fit. He's got the perfect size to be a quarterback. He's supposed to be Ben Roethlisberger. That's what everybody keeps saying. He's supposed to be this generation's Ben Roethlisberger.
Everyone apparently is supposed to be Big Ben to you Steelers fans.
No, that's what they compared him to. And the funny thing is, Big Ben had that problem too. He thought he knew what was best for, he was uncoachable. Difference between Ben Roethlisberger and Carson Wentz is Ben Roethlisberger, as much as I hate to admit it, Ben Roethlisberger was actually that dude. Carson Wentz is not that dude.
Duh.
That's the problem. That's the problem. I watched this this AB interview the other day, and the one thing I got was like, damn, that team was dysfunctional.
No, AB was on it, so
that team was dysfunctional as hell. It wasn't just AB. They admitted it was a whole bunch of people. But again, that's the NFL. Every locker room was dysfunctional. The Patriots win so much because they're the only one that's not. And even then, they became dysfunctional because Bill Belichick kind of had too much power at some point, right? But that seems to be every locker room. That's how do you manage the dysfunction? You got 53 guys from 53 different walks of life. They believe in different things. They come from different backgrounds. Some people are making a lot of money. Some people are making minimum money. Some people are older. Some people are younger. They're going to clash. How do you figure that out? Your quarterback has to be the one to help you do that. And if your quarterback is the one creating some of the division, you're not going to win. You're just not going to win.
Being the source of the division.
Yeah, those Steelers teams, as talented as they were, they never got back to a Super Bowl. That's insane. They should have been in the Super Bowl multiple times. They weren't because of dysfunction. And it starts with the quarterback. And Carson Wentz is also that guy. The only problem is Carson Wentz couldn't shine Big Ben's shoes.
Yep. Well, tell them where they can find you, bro.
They can find me at Never For Brett Me. That's NEVA_4 BRETT_ME on Instagram and Twitter. Sorry, I got choked up. I love
talking about Carson Wentz and Big Ben.
Well, no, I love Ron Rivera. You know, I was a Panthers fan. I love Ron Rivera. Don't Carson. You better not ruin that.
And another coach goes down. But find me at Not the Chuck D on all the socials. We're at _dope blog on Instagram, dope blog all one word on Twitter at www.thedope.blog. And we also have a YouTube channel now.
Yes, and if you are watching this on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.
And join us next time as we continue to discuss other people's excellence, which means we won't be talking about Carson Wentz.
Thank God.